Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Sarah Shamina from Group 5. We'll be presenting for Kerry Group Risk Management Process. And these are my group member, which is Muhammad Alif Aiman, Akilah Izzati, Nur Ifah, Nur Amira, and myself, Sarah Shamina binti Mahmud. So, we will go straight forward to company that we choose. These are the company profile. The company that we choose is Kerry Group. The background is Kerry Taste and Nutrition is a global pioneer in quality and health product for the foods, beverage and pharmaceutical industry. Kerry is the founder preferred partner because of its extensive technology-based, customer-centric business approach and manufacturing integrated solution expertise. And these are the logo for Kerry Group. The next one is their company missions, which is our consumer-led strategy means we forecast growth possibilities earlier and develop faster by co-creating with customers to sustainably create the future. We deliver exciting method to nourish life at pace and scales backed by a wide technology portfolio found in world-class science driven by the passion and variety of our people and digitally enabled. And these are the organization structure, which is the CEO is Amos Salen, followed by their chairman of the board is Tom Moran, director Hugh Brady, and another one director is Fiona Dawson, and Karen Jorpal, Emma Grelly, Michael Kerr, and Christopher Roger. And their products is Tesco, Sainsbury, Asda, Iceland, Edeka, Green King, and so on. So that's all for me. We will go forward to the next part, which is risk management process.
Identifying existing and potential risks. The risk identification process is the first and most critical phase in the risk management framework. The process through which an organization learns about the situation in which it is at risk is known as risk identification. Identification approaches are used to gather data on resources, hazards, risk factors, dangers, and loss exposures. The practice of recognizing potential hazards, difficulties, or hazards before they occur is known as risk management. This enables business owners to put in place processes to prevent, limit, at the very least cope with the risk. For existing risks, the first peril is operational. The hazard for it is perishable and expired foods and drinks and can create waste of food and drinks. Next is technology and machinery. Poor maintenance of machine will lead to machine breakdown. International operations becoming more digitized can also cause cybersecurity risks, and the company's image, reputation, and reliability are more exposed to risk. Next is the reputation, which is brand image risk. Misconduct on the part of subsidiaries can cause consumers' trust diminish. Last but not least is intellectual property rights or trademark rights. Dispute with third parties can make the company unable to assert its intellectual property rights. For potential risks, the first peril is changing economic trend. Changes in consumer behavior due to government's economic policies can cause operating results and financial position decrease. The second potential risk is environmental risk. Variety of new environmental law and regulations could lead to changes in cost of energy, electricity, water, and gas can lead to higher expenses or store operations.
Move to the evaluating the potential risk. Once the risk has been identified, the risk manager must evaluate them in terms of financial loss. This means measuring the severity and potential size of the loss and the frequency of the probability that it is likely to occur. A supermarket is an example of an entity that experiences a high frequency of losses. Losses that fall in this category would be small items popular with shoplifters, such as chocolate bar or snack. Certain risks because of the severity of the possible loss. They will entail will demand attention above others, and in most instances, there will be a number of exposure that are equally demanding. There are two types of risks, which is low severity and high severity. For low severity, low frequency is machinery breakdown. For high frequency, the probationer and contract workers will lay off, poor infrastructure, and increase in price of raw materials. In other hand, for low severity, only have high frequency, which are perishable and expired. Also, cashlessness in food quality. The risk also can be categorized by three. First is critical risk. Critical risk exposure in which the possible losses are of a magnitude that would be result in bankrupt. Second, important risk exposure in which the possible losses would not lead to bankrupt but which would require the firm to borrow in order to continue operation. Third is unimportant risk. Unimportant risk exposure in which the possible losses could be made out of the existing asset or current income of the firm without imposing undue financial strain.
Examine alternative risk management techniques, a process in which risks are identified and controlled proactively and allow businesses to improve their chances of success by minimizing threats and maximizing opportunities. Once the risks have been identified and evaluated, the next step is to examine all possible ways to handle them. Risk management techniques. There are risk avoidance, risk reduction, risk retention, and risk transfer. Risk avoidance. Risk is proactively avoided or abandoned after rational consideration. Risk avoidance is an area of risk management where the goal is to eliminate a risk and not just reduce it. And then risk reduction involves any security measures or other actions that will reduce the risk to the assets. For example, Kerry Group can directly reduce the threat from a risky activity involves improving company procedures to eliminate sources of risk. And then we have risk retention. A risk is retained when an organization does not take proactive steps to avoid, minimize, or transfer it. Bearing financial responsibility for the consequences of loss. Kerry Group retain the risk that customer taste will change and product will not sell. They might underestimate the risk and end up stocking too much product. Lastly, we have risk transfer, the process of transferring to another party. For example, purchasing comprehensive business insurance. This can help reduce the claim costs Kerry Group may face.
Next is selecting and implementing risk management and evaluating, reviewing, and controlling the risk management. Risk avoidance, in our opinion, is the most acceptable management method to use. The most prevalent technique is risk reduction because there is typically a way to cut rates at least. If the officer can demonstrate more expertise in controlling or lowering rate, outsourcing could be an option for this difficulty. Kerry Group, for example, may delegate software development and hard items manufacturing to another company while handling business administration. Aside from that, the Kerry Group must quantify and comprehend its responsibilities. One of the most crucial and tough components of our weight management approach is financial regulation. As far as we can tell, one of the best methods to achieve this for a businessman is to finance insurance if the internet allows businesses to cover themselves in the event of an accident or natural disaster. Alright, so we have arrived to the conclusions and recommendations section of our presentation. To summarize, we found that the organization must be properly prepared for both potential and unforeseen risks for risk management techniques so that they are well equipped and more confident in tackling those difficulties in the future. We made the decision to avoid taking any risk, which is we use risk avoidance. The corporation should freeze all recruitment from vacancy posts. This is because we can save money on hiring and concentrate on our present employees, so that their welfare is maintained and separation is avoided. We may go on to the following task, which is to ensure that the machinery is lubricated to prevent further damage despite not being utilized during this pandemic. This is because the cost of purchase is far higher than the cost of maintenance. So, it's more cost effective to focus on maintaining maintenance expenditures to ensure that the machinery and all other factory equipment are in good working order, rather than investing in new technology or machines, which would result in financial losses. Last but not least, during this pandemic, top product manufacturing is significantly reduced. A large number of clients left Kerry Group. So what happens when customers don't buy the things is that the corporation doesn't get any revenue from them, and there's a surplus of products that aren't being used. So there are two issues in this situation, which is first is financial performance is poor and product waste is high. As a result, it is reasonable for the corporation to halt product production and concentrate on the contingency plan. So, as the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. So, because prevention is better than treatment, they are the reason why we choose risk avoidance. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you, Senaim, for taking time to watch our video presentation. Take care and stay safe. Assalamualaikum.